Welcome to another EleShop video. Today we're looking at the best soldering station for 2025. Reliable tools you can set up on your work table and depend on for daily use. Whether you're a hobbyist or a professional, we'll help you find the right fit. Let's get started. We've selected 3 of the very best soldering stations from our catalog, each with its own strengths, but all built for years of reliable use. All 3 have comfortable lightweight irons, flexible cables that don't fight you while working, solid holders and proper tip cleaning options like brass wool or a sponge. When choosing a soldering station, raw power isn't the deciding factor. Anything above 65 watts is already enough for most jobs, as long as the heat is transferred efficiently to the tip. Chasing extremely high temperatures is rarely a good idea. Above 350 degrees Celsius, you risk burning off flux too quickly. All 3 stations have plenty of power and temperature range, so we'll focus on what really sets them apart. Let's start with a classic. The Hakko FX-888DX is one of the most trusted soldering stations in the world. Hakko is a Japanese brand known worldwide for its precision and quality manufacturing. It uses a passive tip system. In a passive tip, heat is transferred from the heater in the handle to the tip, which makes temperature changes slower. Active tips, in contrast, have the heater and sensor built into the tip itself, giving faster heat up, quicker recovery and more stable temperatures. Hakko's passive tip design is well made, with precise fitting for excellent heat transfer, making it one of the best passive systems available today. The design is very simple. No complicated menus, just a control knob for temperature adjustment and a clear display showing the temperature. The stand is solid, with space for both a sponge and brass wool for tip cleaning. The real strength of the FX-888DX, however, is reliability. This station just doesn't break. For many users, it's a once-in-a-lifetime purchase. A tool you can trust for years of professional use. Next is the JBC BT-2BQA soldering station. JBC has been making premium soldering tools for decades, and their stations are widely used by professionals. Unlike the Hakko, the JBC uses an active tip system. That means the heating element is built right into the tip itself, instead of in the handle. This design makes a huge difference. The tip heats up in just a couple of seconds, and the temperature stays stable even when you're soldering larger parts that pull away a lot of heat. JBC also offers an enormous range of tips and accessories. So whatever you're soldering, from tiny electronics to big connectors, there's a perfect tip for it. In addition, with the JBC BT-2BQA soldering station, you can swap tips without waiting for them to cool down, thanks to the built-in tip exchange assist system in the stand. The only real downside is the price. Both the station and the tips are relatively expensive. However, this particular model is one of the more affordable options within JBC's range, and it's comparable in cost to other premium active tip stations. For those who solder professionally, it's a tool that can make work easier while lasting for many years. Finally, we have the Atten AT-969, a soldering station we proudly offer here at EleShop and fully stand behind. This is a user-friendly station with a great balance between modern performance and an affordable price. Like the JBC, it uses an active tip system, But unlike the JBC, the Aten AT-969 comes in at a much lower price, making it a more accessible choice for hobbyists and smaller workshops. On the front, you'll find a clear display showing your set temperature. Once the temperature is stable, a small indicator flashes to let you know it's ready. The Aten AT-969 also includes a sleep function, a standby mode and a temperature lock. The only limitation is the ecosystem. You're limited to 9 available tip shapes. So there's less variety compared to bigger brands. But if you want a reliable soldering station with active tips for a fraction of the cost of a JBC, the Aten AT-969 is a solid choice. You might be wondering, what about the Weller WE-1010? It's from a known brand, it's affordable, so it looks good on paper. But in practice, the heat transfer is not as good as that of the Hakko. So unless you specifically prefer Weller's more modern design over Hakko's colorful aesthetic, the choice is clear. We recommend the Hakko. It offers better performance for the price and is reliable. Alternatively, if you're looking for a more budget-friendly option, consider the Atten AT-969. It uses the same T18 style tips as Hakko, but the build quality and heat transfer are lower. Still, for beginners or occasional soldering, it's more than enough. So, which one should you choose? If you want a station that will last for years and has affordable passive tips, go for the Hakko FX-888DX. If you want the best performance, fastest heat up and the largest ecosystem, invest in the JBC 2BQA. If you want modern performance and an active TIS system at a fair price, Eleshop's Aten AT-969 is a great choice. And if your budget is tight, the Atten AT-969 is a good choice. Let us know in the comments which soldering station do you use. Not sure which JBC tip to pick? Check out our comparison video here. Looking for something portable? We tested the top USB-C soldering irons of 2025, including the Pinesail, Vnirtsi and TS101. Want to learn more about soldering? Visit the Eleshop knowledge base, where we have many articles like our guide on how to solder thick wires. Thanks for watching.